This time it's short to Dos Santos. Alessandrini. Sebastian the Jet. Ibrahimovic. Flag was up again.
I do like the energy between Leggett and Corona because they do have a good understanding that when one goes forward, the other can drop deep and provide that balance with Jonathan Dos Santos and look for that ball over the top. But again, the Portland Timbers inside their own defensive third, no pressure on the ball whatsoever.
Moreira. Player index tracks every... Possessing Jonathan Dos Santos. Actually cut out by Corona. Blanco. Oh, took an alert to it. Dielna. Chara. Tuna for the Galaxy, taken out by an industrial challenge from Diego Chara.
It's such a good foul, though, from Diego Chara because he knows and recognizes that the Portland Timbers are susceptible to that counter in that situation. Those are the little things when you hear his teammates and his coaching staff say he cleans up so many plays when we're in trouble. And so many people, John, talk about the reputation of Diego Chara. He fouls a lot, yellow cards and whatnot, but the reality is, how many of those are in situations that are necessary? And then he has the occasional ear flick that goes trending on Twitter that is unnecessary.
Skelvik. And the shot. Always just that touch too high from the boot of Daniel Steres.
Well, one thing's for certain is that LA is getting forward with their fullbacks, especially Skelvik coming forward here. And taking the advice from Zlatan moments ago where he said, hit it first time. That's a better ball in from Skelvik. We've seen a couple of instances from Portland coming forward, and a lot of it's off this man here, Sebastian Blanco. Good save from David Bingham.
Guzman. Swept away by Dos Santos. Dashing his first international goal for Mexico during the week. Scored a 4-2 win over Paraguay. Levi Stadium. Chao. Blanco. Valeri. Felcher only as far as Valentin. BBC. Plenty Centre's header yields a corner kick for the Timbers. There's no particular hurry to take this. Diego Valerio has been deputed to do so. Getting a robust reception from the LA Riot squad, the quadrant of... Gielna. Blanco. Steres. Together the Timbers Army and the various supporters groups of the Galaxy to help collect donations of footballing equipment for a youth football academy in El Salvador. 300 or so paid up members of the Timbers Army are here in person. Kuro. Skelvin. Santos. Ibrahimovic trying to persuade the referee to give a free kick. This is the Venezuelan Felcher. Now the Jet. And Atinella, well aware of the impending arrival of Ibrahimovic. The flag was up anyway. Ted Uncle to give.
But there's no real secret to the way LA wants to play. The moment the ball turns over, they are going to look for that direct ball into him, maybe when space opens up. But I do think, other than the miraculous chance that he takes out of nothing, the Portland Timbers system is set up well against the LA Galaxy.
Giovanni Savarese was talking to us this morning about moments, big moments in games where perhaps one or two of his players have switched off. All their previous good work has counted for very little.
Well, John, how often do you hear managers around the world, they say the 5 minutes going into halftime, the 5 minutes coming out of halftime. The Portland Timbers have given up goals in very bad spots that have killed them. They were easily the better team against the Colorado Rapids. Yes, it's in the snow, but you score 3 goals on the road, you should be winning that game. But the Timbers fans at home will remind you and I, they started 0-3-2 last season and then got hot this year. Different than last. They're playing the first 12 games on the road. So in my mind, an outsider looking at it, I'm thinking 17, 18, 20 points, and you're in an ideal situation. Because how often in MLS history have we seen DC United, Toronto, RSL, Sporting Kansas City, when you have that amount of home games in the second part of the year and maybe a couple new signings, you can make a run.
It's going to be a splendidly appointed Providence Park. Brand new locker rooms, new video board. I'm slightly disappointed to learn this morning that the one area that hasn't been renovated is the broadcast booth. There's still no corner bar in there.
There may be with you.
Slim chance, I feel.
Oh, especially with that box that carries your lip mic in it. What is that thing, made of gold?
2 now. So Valentine. Diego Chara. Ebobisi. Moreira, the new man. Scante. Valeri. Chara. More games in MLS for the Timbers than any other player in history. It's Diego Valeri, who scored more goals than any other player in history for the club. Dielna. It's always nice to get insight from pitch level, and Sebastian Salazar can tell us a little more about the thinking of Schelotto, the Galaxy coach.
Yeah, guys, you'll probably be able to see it a little bit better from up there, but keep an eye on Jonathan Dos Santos' positioning, especially as it relates to Diego Valeri. I've already seen Guillermo Barros Schelotto twice talk to Dos Santos. He doesn't want Valeri receiving the ball in behind the Galaxy midfielder. So I think your vantage point will see it a little bit better, but watch Dos Santos and how close he stays with Valeri.
Thank you, Sebastian.
The only problem with that, John, is anytime you're trying to man-mark someone, and I'm not saying that's the situation, because there is a good spot for Jonathan Dos Santos, is that if Valeri recognizes that he's being man-marked, he moves 3-4 yards, space opens up for others.
Himovic. Corona. Alessandrini to Ibrahimovic, who goes over. It's a penalty. Buffeted from behind.
Experience, understanding the situation, that's what this is from Zlatan Ibrahimovic. But the argument here from Claude Dielna, you tell me that Claude Dielna doesn't make any contact. I mean, initially it does look like, yes, you've got Zlatan, he's going to receive it with his back to goal. But watch Dielna off his backside. He does run right through him. I mean, so the argument here is what exactly? Zlatan knows that Dielna's coming through him, so he gets between the body and the ball, but you can't tell me that Dielna doesn't run right through Zlatan. But that's an understanding and experienced player, knowing that it's not about receiving that ball, but knowing any kind of contact, I'm going down.
Ibrahimovic. Clean as you like. Always ready to accept a claim. Highlight of the game was that wondrous effort 20-odd minutes ago, but the most important point of the game is that from the spot. Ibrahimovic's second goal of the season.
We knew the penalty, we was going to get Attinella going the other way, but I just go back to the understanding of the situation and where you are on the field. Zlatan Ibrahimovic knew the situation with Claude Dielna behind him. As we look at our target goalpost game, Jeff Attinella going the other way, Galaxy up 1-0 at home.
And Portland's tally of goals conceded this season rises to 11 in just their fourth fixture. Ebobisi, Valeri. Offside Ebobisi from the return pass. Well, he knows every trick in the book. In fact, he wrote most of the book. All he was looking for was physical contact inside the penalty area, an excuse to go over, and Dielna more than provided it. The goal greeted by by ticker tape, floating gently from Californian skies, which are ever darkening now at this time of day. Jet. Again, Rolf Felcher. Third time for the fullback. Does have a sense of adventure about him, but may have picked up a little knock there. Scant sympathy for Felcher from Claude Dielna. Is signalling that saw no foul. Player's going to restart with a throw-in. This is Alessandrini. Goals in Zlatan Ibrahimovic's last 21 appearances. And now a flare-up involving Blanco, Alessandrini. Peacemakers on the scene fairly quickly, led by Valeri. Telemanco appears to have a clear handle on things. Attempt to win the ball from Blanco, which angered Alessandrini.
Yeah, but it's also frustration settling in for the Portland Timbers. You said it, John. You've given up 11 goals in your first 4 games after making that kind of run in the playoffs and getting the MLS Cup. Sometimes you need a little bit of bite and fight to get back into this thing, but that's a dangerous place to give up a foul and a set piece to the Galaxy.
And they had of Felcher, but also of Steres going for the ball.
Jonathan Dos Santos just looks so much more comfortable in this system, this style of play, than he did at times last season. And you mentioned it, his goal with Mexico. I just think Tata Martino's system, I think you're going to get a big 2019 MLS season from Jonathan Dos Santos. And I think some people will say, well, coincidentally, is it because his brother's off the roster and he's out of the way?
And out of the shadow.
I've always felt Jonathan was the better player. He's had the better career, and I think you may see that in 2019.
Ebobisi. Free kick Portland. Valeri. Beaten just once in their last 12 home games at what is now called Dignity Health Sports Park. Skipik. Leggett. Antuna. Jet. and also a foul on Jeff Attinella.
I'm just wondering at halftime, is Savarese and his staff at some point have to address their right side defensively, because so much for the LA Galaxy has come off their left. And Atuna's coming inside. He's in a pocket of space. Škelvik then can come forward. He can overlap. And then Joe Corona can then slide over. But Jorge Moreira in his debut has been chasing shadows. Is part of that because Guzman's playing a little bit too far forward than I think for Savarese and his staff's liking? Or is the other part that there's been little support with Portland going forward?
Ebobisse. Blanco. Chance here for Portland. Opens up a bit for Blanco.
Comes off a bad turnover from the back four of the LA Galaxy, and then Blanco's coming forward. But watch out of your screen. Škelvik slide in right now. If he doesn't make that commitment, then Blanco can take that half a step, prepare for his finish. But because of Škelvik coming over, sliding over, Blanco has to speed up that decision, thus the ball going over the bar. I will say Škelvik looks 100 times better and more comfortable at left back than he did at center back, where he played all of 2018. I still think the LA Galaxy in their front office want to assess that fullback position when Giancarlo Gonzalez gets here, but in Škelvik's defense, I think he looks more comfortable at left back.
Sebastian Blanco. Jorge Moreira. Chara. It's more Blanco. Dielna with a heavy first touch, and he had to go chasing the ball, and now he's out of position. And here's Alessandrini. And Antuna is herring up the pitch on this near side. Ibrahimovic. With the taking of the free kick, or indeed with what Ibrahimovic has been saying to him. The root of all this was that Ibrahimovic bundled Chara out of the way very unceremoniously, rather unnecessarily. It is an Ibrahimovic penalty that separates these teams. It's Valentin. Chara. Blanco. Valentin. Blocked by Chara, but with the use of a hand. Now the quarterfinals of the German Cup kick off this Tuesday. Augsburg hosting Tyler Adams and Red Bull Leipzig. Coverage begins at 2:30 Eastern on ESPN News, and also streaming live on the ESPN app. And how about that pass by Tyler Adams for Leipzig yesterday that led to a goal? Fantastic.
It's only going to feed into that discussion of whether or not Tyler Adams should play center midfield for Greg Berhalter in the national team. Red Bull Leipzig hasn't lost since he's been introduced to the 11. I don't think it's a coincidence. But that ball from Adams was ridiculous.
Scored the goal from it. Red Bull Leipzig handsomely victorious. Cascante. Guzman. Pereira. Chara. Guzman, Valeri, Guzman, and turned in by Ebobisse. And whilst it might not be spectacular, what it is beautifully constructed. They played their way right through LA Galaxy. And that is a coach's dream.
1-2 touch passing, movement, playing between the lines, all of this in this example. So now you draw out, and because LA Galaxy are too slow to recognize the situation, Skelvik's too slow sliding over, Polenta's chasing shadows, 1-2 touch passing right between the lines, and LA Galaxy on their heels, Portland Timbers with a massive goal at the end of the first half. Great look there from Guzman, simple finish for Ebobisse, but it was all about the pattern of play and the LA Galaxy chasing shadows at home. Portland tying it 1-1 on the road.
Out there on the pitch tonight are some terrific individual talents, but there is no I in the word team. And Ebobisse on the end of a magnificently constructed team move. Forward by Polenta. For once, Portland have struck rather than been struck at a crucial time in a game on the cusp of half-time. Coach was talking about big moments that have gone against them so far this season. Now they've seized an opportunity of their own, having conjured it up very much all their own work.
John, let's go back to the goal and whether or not Guzman is in an offside position. Watch where, as we freeze this, Polenta's right shoulder and Guzman's right shoulder. That's why it didn't go to video review. Was it clear and obvious? The answer is no. Right decision from the referee.
Well, that was pretty good timing by the Timbers and by Ebobisse in particular, who has swept in an equalising goal, cancelling out the earlier penalty, won and scored by Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Coming up, Carlos Vela's hot start and several other narrative lines from a goal-laden weekend in MLS. But let's hear from the LA Galaxy coach with Sebastian.
Guillermo, your impressions of the first half?
I think we managed the ball, we managed the game, but we couldn't finish the first half winning. I think we deserve to win it, but you know they got a good player and they make a really good play and they score and they tie the game.
Thank you very much, Coach. Good luck in the second half. Guys, they're the words of Guillermo Barros-Schelotto. I send it back up to you.
Okay, so one apiece, Sebastian, at the break. Ibrahimovic with the penalty in the 33rd minute. 11 minutes later, terrific individual play brought together in 4 or 5 instances to form a team goal scored by Jeremy Ebobisse. It's 1-1. We'll reflect in a moment.
We both know you're not just looking for pork chops. You're searching for something more red-blooded. Right this way. You thirst for adrenaline. You hunger for raw power. Well, you've come to the right place. The road is yours. Dig in.
Phil, why don't you give us some color on what we've seen so far?
Absolutely. The Boilermakers in rich black jerseys with accents of old gold that could also pass for a sunflower shade of yellow.
You know, color commentary isn't actually commentary on what the colors are.
Yellow's called a secondary color, Ken.
Just okay is not okay, whether it's announcers or wireless networks. AT&T is America's best wireless network, according to America's biggest test. Now with 5G... the first step to 5G. More for your thing. That's our thing.
It's your thing. Do what you want to do. I can't tell you, but it's like to. It's your thing. Do what you want to do. It's your thing.
or what you believe.
No matter who you love or how you identify.
No matter what you look like or what you're capable of.
Everyone is welcome.
You don't bully
Or discriminate.
Everyone.
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 Everyone is welcome.
This is Major League Soccer.
Welcome to the Audi halftime report. We have a 1-1 scoreline at Dignity Health Sports Park between the LA Galaxy and the Portland Timbers, bringing the weekend tally of goals in MLS to 42.
What a fun weekend.
And what a start, Friday night, BMO Field.
How's this for a debut? Almost as good as your debut.
Well, no. That's not Pozuelo, that's Panenka.
Unbelievable debut, and don't be shocked. In a couple of weeks, if Toronto FC fans are saying Javinto who, because if that's the player they got, Toronto winning their first 3 games for the first time in their franchise history.
What happened with the refs? Brad had a few things to say, and suddenly they win.
Yes, he did. He made 6 changes to the 11. Cody Cropper came up with a big save. Massive 3 points at home for the Revs. Minnesota United, they've lost 2 in a row.
Sporting Kansas City, just the 6th time in MLS history that a side has scored 7 or more in a game.
Great timing, isn't it, John? CONCACAF Champions League semifinal leg 1 coming up this Thursday. Johnny Russell, Christian Nemeth, Jerson Fernandez, everybody getting in the show. Christian Nemeth has 8 goals in 7 games in all competitions. Busio becomes the 2nd youngest player to score a goal in Major League Soccer. This team looks like they're up for the challenge against Monterrey. If that's the team that shows up, they got a shot.
On now to a first MLS hat-trick for a player making the early running in the race to be MVP, but it was against San Jose.
San Jose is winless, in their last 12 games dating back to last season. They've already given up 14 goals in 2019, but this is more about LAFC for me. First team in Major League Soccer with 4 wins this year, 401. That man right there. Remember, Bob Bradley last year said we need a little bit more from Carlos Vela. How was that? 6 goals in his first 5 games.
And how about this? For match conditions, Atlanta submerged beneath a giant puddle in Columbus.
Yeah, and Atlanta needs a week off desperately. Pedro Santos scores an early goal. Atlanta couldn't get off Noah's Ark. Big 3 points at home for the Columbus crew.
Didn't see the worst of it there, but really the second half it was unplayable. What about Philly? Back-to-back wins now.
Yeah, that's massive too, and it's also 2 shutouts. Marco Fabian scores a goal, but this is more about David Alcon. You're getting something from him. 3 goals, 2 assists in his last 2 games.
And how prominent is Paxton Pomykal, a 19-year-old like this?
It's special. Credit to FC Dallas for hiring Luchi Gonzalez, who knows the young kids. 3 of their 4 goals are young homegrown players. But Paxton Pomykal is one to watch for the future and now.
Filling in the other details, Seattle held scoreless at Vancouver late last night. Chicago with the only goal against the Red Bulls. Houston scoring 4 in Colorado. And earlier today, a spectacular free kick. Not sure whether he meant it or not.
Did Wayne Rooney mean it?
No, he didn't.
Goal's a goal, pal.
Yeah, well, you would say that, wouldn't you? It was your currency and your mantra. But yes, DC United victorious again at Orlando by 2-1. So if we look at the weekend as a whole, apart from talking about your wondrous approach shot to the 18th at Palm Springs,
if you want to watch it.
No, we don't want to talk. We're talking soccer, football. So in MLS, what's your takeaway from the weekend?
Three things, and I'm going to start with 2 of those in the Columbus-Atlanta game. First and foremost, with the regular season being a little bit more important than in recent years because of the playoff seeding. That's a massive decision from an inexperienced referee to play that game out. You knew from the weather conditions, the weather reports, you also knew from the weather delay, unequivocally that game shouldn't have been played. I think Major League Soccer and the referees, I think Howard Webb, I think everyone would agree with that. But it's also about Atlanta United. Listen, Columbus, you're tied in first, 10 points, that's massive. But this is about Atlanta United. You're in last place. And the last time Frank de Boer had a league win, Joseph Martinez was on the other team in Serie A in October 2016. Massive decisions to be made in Atlanta. And it must be nice, John. Must be nice when you give up 14 goals in your first 4 games. And in San Jose, Matias Almeida says it's a 4-year project. Good luck telling that to your fans.
Well, in the first year of that project, at current rates of progress, they will concede 119 goals. Here, we've seen 2 goals. Excellent in their own way. Ibrahimovic winning and converting a penalty. But what a terrific team equaliser from Jeremy Ebobisse. This halftime report is presented by Audi. The Audi Player Index tracks every move of every match. To learn more, visit mlssoccer.com/Audi.
We both know you're not just looking for pork chops. You're searching for something more red-blooded. Right this way. You thirst for adrenaline. You hunger for raw power. Well, you've come to the right place. The road is yours. Dig in.
Is it true cricket has iPhone XR?
With the amazing liquid retina display.
Is it true that you wear a wig?
Could a wig do this?
I'm Sean Johnson, goalkeeper for New York City FC. And when it comes down to that moment where it's just you and a striker, and now you have the joy of shutting a striker down, that rush is kind of the same rush that you get from being behind the wheel, whether it's putting your foot to the floor, exiting a corner and feeling a little bit of, movement from the back end of the car. Like, all that rush is what I live for. See more at celebratingsoccer.com.
It's your thing. Do what you want to do. I can tell you what it's like to. It's your thing. Do what you want to do. It's your thing. Do what you want to do.
Is it true cricket has iPhone XR?
With the amazing liquid retina display.
Is it true that you wear a wig?
Could a wig do this?
This copyrighted telecast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.
Welcome back to the Audi halftime report. And that report has a halftime score of 1 goal apiece between LA Galaxy and the Portland Timbers. Now let's take a look at the Audi Player Index. And Taylor, we can focus on Sporting Kansas City after their 7-1 victory over Montreal.
It was all 3 players. Obviously, Johnny Russell coming off his first goal for Scotland. He has 2 goals, 1 assist. Jerso Fernandez, Nemeth gets his hat trick. And I said it in our previous break. This team has a quiet confidence to them going into that CONCACAF Champions League semifinal leg 1. But they need to get a goal on the road. we see them next week against FC Cincinnati on our air.
Okay, we're heading back for the second half very shortly. This halftime report is presented by Audi. The Audi Player Index tracks every move of every match. To learn more, visit mlssoccer.com/Audi.
We both know you're not just looking for pork chops. You're searching for something more red-blooded. Right this way. You thirst for adrenaline. You hunger for raw power. Well, you've come to the right place. The road is yours. Dig in.
Phil, why don't you give us some color on what we've seen so far?
Absolutely. The Boilermakers in rich black jerseys with accents of old gold that could also pass for a sunflower shade of yellow.
You know, color commentary isn't actually commentary on what the colors are.
Yellow's called a secondary color, Ken.
Just okay is not okay, whether it's announcers or wireless networks. AT&T is America's best wireless network, according to America's biggest test. Now with 5G evolution, the first step to 5G. More for your thing. That's our thing.
Watch me working now. Baby, do you like the way I work it now? Baby, come on and let me show you how. Working now, working now, working now. Baby, watch me work it like. Working now, working now, working now. Baby, watch me work it like. Baby, 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 watch me work it now. Are you mine? Yes, sir. Let's go. It goes.
Tired, huh?
NBA superstar.
Gatorade Zero. All the electrolytes, zero sugar. Get more out of zero.
MLS on ESPN is presented by Audi. And away we go with the second half at Dignity Health Sports Park. LA Galaxy 1, Portland Timbers 1. Tantalisingly poised. A good response by visiting Timbers to falling behind to an Ibrahimovic penalty. Team goal to restore parity on the stroke of half-time. The Jet. Ball. Let's sample the thoughts of Giovanni Savarese, the Portland Timbers coach. He was talking to Sebastian Salazar as he re-emerged a few moments ago.
I can tell you Gio is not happy with the penalty call. He says Zlatan looks for the contact. For him, he said it should not have been called. As far as what Portland needs to do in the second half, he wants them to be on the ball more. He says once they start to move it, find that confidence, he thinks they'll be able to pressure this Galaxy team a bit more than they did in the first half.
Okay, Sebastian, thank you. You would say that if you were the coach, though, wouldn't you, about the penalty award?
Yeah, but Giovanni Savarese was a very good attacking player in his own right. He knows 100% that's a penalty.
Here's Alessandrini. Ibrahimovic.
anything, I'm a little surprised, though, he didn't say he needs more out of Diego Valeri, but this is what Giovanni Savarese is upset about. And I'm sorry, for me, it's a penalty. Whether Zlatan's looking for it or not, it doesn't detract from the fact that Diona tried to run through a wall. But to go back to my point, John, I just think Valeri gave the ball away too often in the first half, and at times he's trying to do too much, and then other times when he does have the ball at his feet, he's too deep. I think he's got to be a little bit more patient, stay higher up the field, and allow Blanco and Guzman to release the pressure, and then ultimately, I think all the spaces against the two center backs of the LA Galaxy.
Dos Santos, unfortunately, idiotic supporter has arrived on the pitch. We won't allow him the glory of showing him, but he's being pursued by two stewards.
Yeah, but see, this is just, I don't understand this. And so now you have 7, 8 security guards running around trying to chase this fan, and listen to the crowd. Listen to the 22,000 cheering him on.
He has now been, I don't think overly dramatic, but should we just say neutralised? I don't think he'll be playing any further part in the evening. Tackle to the ground on the apron of the pitch, and hopefully we can get underway again shortly.
But John, how do you stop that?
You never can, fully. You never can, unless you have fences around the pitch, and no one wants that.
But let me ask the question, what if you penalize the team? Does it work?
I think the problem is that someone as idiotic as...
They don't care about the team, it's about them. I just remember when the Monica Seles thing happened, and I was a teenager at the time, and then eventually when I left home, my dad, who played 10 plus years in the NASL, he said, if a fan's ever on the field, you go the other way. You have no idea what's going to happen.
There's Blanco. There was a little touch by Bogusier, didn't get it. Of course, we had the incident in the English Championship a couple of weeks ago where a spectator ran onto the pitch and attacked Jack Grealish, one of the Aston Villa players at St Andrews. Moreira. Bogusier. Sebastian Blanco. He went all the way to the byline. Blanco once again. Valeri.
See, that's where you want Diego Valeri. If you're a Timbers fan at home, and if you're Giovanni Savarese and his staff, that's where you want Valeri. In the first half, you saw him close to Guzman, close to Blanco, and even at times close to Diego Chara. It was a good little spell there from the Portland Timbers coming forward.
The Galaxy down the years than Diego Valeri, top scorer in the history of this fixture, 5 goals alongside Fernando Adi, 2 more assists than any other player. One of the main reasons he's playing for Portland in MLS was that he rang up Guillermo Barros-Schelotto, who he knew well from his time in Argentina, and asked him whether he should come to MLS back in 2013, and the answer was a resounding yes. For that advice a little later if Valeri can exert a grip on this contest.
Well, you and I caught out of the corner of our eye. There was a throw-in on this near side, and Schelotto and Valeri shook hands, had a bro hug, and then continued on the play. through the years, just having that conversation with Valeri, he talks so much about Schelotto and that advice, and obviously I think Merritt Paulson and the Portland Timbers appreciate that.
Yeah, huge beneficiaries of that. But Sebastian, I think, can lift the lid a little more on that relationship.
Yeah, when we were talking about Schelotto yesterday, he said when he arrived at Lanús in 2012, he realized pretty quickly the relationship between Valeri and the club's directors at Lanús was effectively broken, so he kind of played peacemaker. He knew Valeri would be a good fit in Major League Soccer. He also knew that Lanús would benefit from selling a player that at the time was 26, 27, entering his prime. And really, guys, the rest is Portland Timbers, but also MLS history.
He's been a treat to watch for a long time now.
Well, Seb, the interesting part of that, and John as well, is they're eerily similar type of players. They're creative, but both players could score their fair share of goals.
Alessandrini, there's Ibrahimovic.
Portland knew coming into this one, when the ball gets in these wide channels, there's one thing and one thing only. Where is Zlatan? Find those runners inside the 18. And Zlatan had that one great opportunity where he created something out of nothing. As a whole, other than Diona's lackadaisical moment, so to speak, they've been pretty solid against Zlatan.
Skjelvik. Ibrahimovic. Looking for Felcher. Stumbled. Santos. Leggett. Alessandrini. And Valentin guilty of hauling back Leggett. It's a free kick in a position of interest for the Galaxy.
More often than not, Sebastian Leggett is so comfortable unbalancing defenders in those 1v1 situations. And Zarek Valentin, I think that's an unnecessary foul because Claude Diona has that cover, and if he slides in, now you're given another dangerous set piece for the LA Galaxy.
The giant Uruguayan Polenta strides forward for this to augment Ibrahimovic and co.
Don't be shocked here if Alessandrini touches this to Jonathan Dos Santos and tries to hit this near post. Attinella has to be extremely careful not get caught guessing here.
Alessandrini. His delivery. By Steres, and a corner. Alessandrini being warmly welcomed on the far side by those Galaxy supporters. Good to see him back. Steres.
Big concern coming into this one was those key moments defending, set pieces being one of them.
Felcher. Felcher.
Well, now the question is for the LA Galaxy, John, is Alessandrini and Zlatan coming off injury? How long do they stay in this game? Keep an eye on Tui Loma as the duty with Zlatan 1v1 on this back post.
Santos and Valeri made up a lot of ground to block.
That's the only problem with that quick touch. I've never been a huge fan of that, especially on an attacking set piece. You do that because that line drops deeper in, and so it gives you a little bit more room to work with. But on the other hand, if you put 2 or 3 guys on the wall and they're on their toes and reactive, then that happens.
Sebastian the Jet. Dos Santos. Sandrini. Fletcher made it his. Rather went over in installments. Didn't convince Ted Uncle, the referee. Moreira. Not helped in constructing this attack, but Burbisi was down, clutching his ankle on the halfway line.
Good work, though, from the referee to allow play on, because Portland was going the other way, out the other side.
MLS on ESPN is presented by Audi. The Audi Player Index tracks every move of every match. To learn more, visit MLSsoccer.com/Audi. So conditioned to success, winners of MLS Cup 3 times in a 4-year spell, up to and including 2014. Most successful club in terms of MLS silverware in the competition's history, and yet they've not made the playoffs the last 2 seasons. It's a painful coming to earth. It was engineered by Blanco, and so the Argentine is the first player this evening to be booked. No long-term harm done.
Well, I think it's one of the things to watch for the Galaxy in 2019, how Joe Corona and Sebastian Lletget evolve. I do like those 3 in the midfield, especially in possession, because you see Jonathan Dos Santos drop deep, then Corona has the freedom to fill the gaps.
Felcher. Ibrahimovic. Brave goalkeeping. Jeff Attinella clutching the ball. Ibrahimovic left to clasp his palms in frustration.
It's brave goalkeeping, but it's also extremely smart, because once Felcher gets in this spot, Ibrahimovic has his perfect positioning in between that ball coming in with the defender on his backside. Attinella recognizing it right now when that ball's played across. Come out, be big, be strong. That's good goalkeeping. Giveaway, though, from Diego Valeri. We've seen 4 or 5 of those tonight, uncharacteristically.
It has been said, Taylor, that he's had by his own elevated standards, albeit a slightly sluggish start to the season. Where do you stand on that?
I agree with it. You know, and again, Diego Valeri, with Blanco on the field, doesn't need to be the guy that drops deep in. He needs to play as a second forward, especially in this kind of system. We're going to play 5 in the back, 3 in the midfield. And even Schelotto knew that. Even watching this, the way the Portland Timbers play, if Valeri's going to drop deep into the midfield, I'm not so sure that works.
There are the Schelotto twins, Guillermo and his twin brother Gustavo, who's one of the assistant coaches. We were asking them yesterday, who's the older twin? Guillermo said he thinks it's him because he got his fist out first, was how he put it. Then he went into a very technical discussion on which twin was the first to be created, never mind born. So we did ask him why he was so knowledgeable about the status of him vis-a-vis his twin brother, and he said, well, my dad was the gynecologist. To which there was no answer. Alessandrini. It's quite nice when I managed to silence you, Taylor.
Well, you said there was no answer, so I provided the color.
Alessandrini.
See, they've been better. Portland Timbers over the international break stressed set-piece defending, and you've seen it tonight. They've been more confident in these moments against FC Cincinnati. Kendall Waston's goal, there was freedom on set pieces. The three center backs have brought some stability in these moments, and you've seen it tonight.
Corona, Ibrahimovic. Oh, still going, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, looking for contact again.
No way.
And the same outcome.
My gut reaction right away is video review, and I said no way because Zlatan Ibrahimovic is going down before contact's even made right now.
Correct.
I mean, watch the cut. By the way, unbelievable cut to unbalance those three defenders. But right now, he's going down for me. That is a foul, though, John. Doesn't he come in? Watch the contact from Attinella. And at what point does Zlatan Ibrahimovic come down? Ooh, that is a very, very, very difficult call for me. It's almost as if Zlatan knows contact's coming. He's bracing it. So now the question is, was it clear and obvious? My gut reaction was that Zlatan was going down too easy, but now that I watch the replay, John, I think contact was made. I think I'm okay with the call. I think I'm okay with the call, and that's because Jeff Antonella comes off. He leaves his feet. And listen, Diego Valeri getting the yellow card, Guzman, everyone is extremely upset with this situation because they know Zlatan's looking for it. But does Jeff Antonella come off his line, leave his feet, and make contact with Zlatan Ibrahimovic? That answer is 100% yes.
If you are a seasoned international striker, you use every asset that your experience provides. Ibrahimovic goes for the Panenka. Ever the showman. And a weekend in MLS that's bookended by spectacular Panenka penalties. Pozuelo for Toronto on Friday night. Sunday night in LA. It is the biggest star in the competition. Attinella continuing his arguments with the referee. He feels he was shortchanged.
Well, Attinella is saying if I hold my ground, then it's not a penalty. He runs into him. The problem is Jeff Antonella, he does not hold his ground. He leaves his feet, but he lunges forward and slides into that space. Now remember, you don't have to technically touch the attacking player for there to be a foul, but Zlatan knew exactly what was coming. He runs into Attinella in the sense that then contact is made, but then you've got to have some massive onions to step up after already taking a previous penalty. And the Panenka puts it in. Galaxy up 2-1 at home.
Blanco from the restart. Now a chance for Diego Valeri, and it's a wild finish. Look, it's an incident that we're going to talk about for the rest of the evening now, because it may well be critical to the outcome. My sense was that I think I see a movement of Ibrahimovic's right leg towards the goalkeeper. which elicits the contact.
So you're saying right here, he
just watch his right leg. Watch his right leg there.
Yeah, but isn't that right leg playing the ball, John? That right leg's playing the ball there.
But then it moves back to the right.
Back to the right.
As if he's looking for contact. Listen, in a sense, it's all fair game. That's where the sport has got to now. In the leading strikers do go looking for contact. You see it in the leading European leagues every week, but it leads to an awful lot of unhappiness. Yamosa, the assistant coach, has allowed his feelings to go a little bit too far on that subject and is being asked to leave the arena.
So the question for me is,